the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on a Monday morning. It is Labor Day. Hope everybody's having a great Labor Day and a start to the Labor Day. Hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. And again, we're glad that you joined us wherever and whenever it is that you join us each and every day here on the Auburn Blitz Podcast and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. Brett and Faith here with you this morning, fresh off a crazy, fun weekend in Texas. And Faith, good to see you this morning.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Lots of fun. Auburn gets the win. Auburn passes the test. That has been what we've talked about for 3 months. We've been talking about this game for 3 months. It's over now. Auburn goes to Baylor, gets the big win, scores 38 points, the most since they've scored on the road against a non-SEC. Is that right? Florida State, 1984, I believe is what it was. So we're about to give everybody – I know we had a post-game reaction show at like midnight-ish at Baylor. We've gotten a lot of reaction from that. It was a little delirium. I promise you we were not influenced by any beverages. We had just left the stadium and just kind of delirious. It had been a long day. I think our day started at like 4:30 that morning, and so we were really really tired. I'll just say that. And then we had a 2-hour drive back to Dallas. So, but anyway, we made it. All is good. It was a great time. Faith, what else can we say? Auburn got a win. We're off to one and start. You're laughing again. So
I know.
We might stop laughing from.
I can't even go and think about that road weekend without laughing. And like, Okay,
I'm just gonna have to say something. Like, we were on the road. I'll say this, and then we'll get into the game. All right, so we did the post game reaction show. We appreciate all of you watching. Definitely appreciate Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine for their sponsorship. So we get done with that. All right, so we got about a 2-hour drive back to Waco, and we get probably about 40 miles, which seems like just kept growing, but about 40 miles.
Like 80 miles, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is bigger in Texas, no doubt. Everything doubles in size and the expansiveness of the territory and all that. But we're on the interstate, and I saw something go by. I didn't know if it was a UFO or what it was. And again, it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, what in the – like, that guy is like that car. There couldn't have been anything left to the speedometer had to be touching the far right side. And then I look in the side mirror and I see a rocket coming. I'm like, there's somebody chasing this guy. And I'm like, and he's going as fast and actually caught up to the guy. I thought we were going to see like this massive explosion ahead, but they were so far ahead of us. They were literally 10 miles ahead of us in like 30 seconds. I've never seen anybody go that fast on the interstate. I
forgot to tell my parents that part of the story.
Left that one out. That's probably but that guy, whoever, I don't know if it was a guy, who knows what it was. It went by so fast you couldn't tell what it was. So anyway, glad they were all the way on the other side and glad to deal with that. So,
they were all the way on the other side of the county.
Yeah, they were in Oklahoma by the time we got back to the hotel room. So just a wild, crazy stuff, man. But we'll dive into the actual game. And look, fun time out there. Hot, very hot when we got out on the field. And
there's something in the air over there. I don't know what it is.
We brought it back. Obviously,
something in the air over in Texas that it's not real.
It's not real, but
not a lot of civilization either.
I mean, again,
a lot of really big buildings in the airport.
Yeah, there's not a lot for sure.
Just the airport.
Like, okay, you've talked me into it. I've got to say something about that too. Like, I know a lot of you watching this probably have flown into DFW, but that is the biggest. I mean, is there a boundary that? I mean, we were in a car. And it took us 30 minutes to get out of the airport boundary to. I was like, and then we landed. We walked down to try to get the car. And first of all, disclaimer: we're not going to do this every time. And I just got to tell this story. We're not going to do this on every road trip. But we get in this bus to go to the rental car terminal. And I swear we were in that bus for 45 minutes. I'm like, are they taking us to the hotel?
We got the closest hotel to the airport, and they took us so far away from the airport.
When we landed, we were closer when the plane landed to the hotel than when we got on the bus to take us to go get the rental car. All right, so I'm gonna shut up. Anyway, that kind of was how the weekend went, but it was a lot of fun. All right, Baylor 38-24, Auburn wins.
Yeah.
Hey, look, things kind of were opposite of what we've been talking about in the fall camp. One of the things that we talked about was how sick our defense was going to be. And we had questions about Jackson Arnold in the offense and the running game. Well, guess what? The defense, the defensive line was really good.
Yeah.
The secondary, which we had been talking about,
how good they were.
The secondary we've seen just could not tackle, couldn't cover anybody. It was a little disturbing, to be honest. And then we were worried about the running game. Well, no need to worry about that. Jackson Arnold, Damari Alston, Jeremiah Cobb. Darrell Robinson got in for a carry. That running game is the best we've run the football in. I can't remember when. And so it's like literally everything we've been talking about was dead opposite. And if I had to have my rathers on that, I would say, okay, I'm glad to see what we saw out of the offense. And yeah, we've got to work on some things on the defense. But I remember last year, our secondary got better as the year went on. And I do still think we got some really, really good football players in that secondary. I do think it's deep. Hey, but tip your hat. Sawyer Robertson, Faith's pretty good quarterback. He had a lot to do with that. He had a lot to do with finding guys open, making plays, keeping Baylor in that football game. And when you look at his stats, he was able to – we threw it a lot. We knew they were going to throw it a lot. Threw it 48 times, 27 or 48, threw for 419 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, he had a lot to do with that. But what they could not do was run the football, Faith. They could not run it. They were one-dimensional. And Coach Freeze and Jackson Arnold said it's not that we were one-dimensional. We were just gashing them so bad on the ground that they could not go away from that. And it's like he said in the press conference, he had to kind of swallow his pride and just suck it up and say, look, I can't throw the football because they were giving them so much on the ground. And I'm glad they decided to go with what was working for them. It just ended up being the smart thing to do. And Auburn was able to take advantage of it and end up winning that game convincingly. Yeah,
I would have thought that, or I guess everybody kind of thought that we were going to see the receivers in their big debut with how, stacked our receiving room is. And, just like I said on the post-game show, which I don't know if many people were able to get from that, but I said earlier that I was really, really nervous about Jackson Arnold and, his confidence and the way he was going to play. And even it was the first drive that you and I kind of were both, he threw the ball at one point and we were both, oh, Jesus, it's going to be a long game. Once he started running the ball, once he got comfortable, I had a lot of confidence in him. And I think we've just been so used to seeing, either a quarterback throw it away too early, not keep their eyes up, or literally run into oncoming traffic. That's just made us kind of have no sense of
anxiety. That's the word.
Yeah. And
every Auburn fan has anxiety every game.
It's been a sense of relief to have a quarterback that, all right, if he doesn't see, a pass, he's going to be able to run it. And hopefully, against a better defensive line, because I know we're going to see much better ones than Baylor.
Yeah.
That maybe our offensive line will be able to, keep up as well. But Jackson Arnold hopefully will be able to make some passes happen.
Well, he was 11 of 17 for 108 yards. But if you'd have told me that Malcolm Simmons, if you'd have told me before the game your leading receiver would have 26 yards on one catch, you know what I'd say to that? I'd say, well, Auburn's 0-1. If you'd have told me that before the game, you said the leading receiver for Auburn in the Baylor game would have one catch for 26 yards, I'd say, man, we got the hell beat out of us. We tanked. Did Hugh Freeze make the trip back to Auburn? And then you go up to the rushing stats and you go, Auburn ran the ball 51 times for 308 yards. And Jackson Arnold had 137 of those and scored 2 touchdowns on the ground. And what you found out is what we talked about as a possibility when we were talking about the scrimmages. And nobody got a chance to see the scrimmage. We just got information and no report of anything Jackson Arnold really did that blew people away. But Coach Freeze alluded to it, said, look, there's some plays there I'd like to have seen extended without the whistle blowing, but we'll just have to wait and see. And, he kind of had a little sly grin on his face when somebody asked him in the post-game presser. He said, did you know do you have this quiet confidence? You knew the whole time, didn't you? And he said, yeah, I did. He said, I didn't want to say anything. He said, I knew this was going to be available. I knew we were going to be able to take advantage of this, and we just kind of kept it quiet. And basically that's what happened. He knew that they knew in practice those RPO, those runs were going to be there against Baylor, and they just didn't say anything about it. They just let us, the media or whoever, go, okay, is Jackson Arnold, is he confident? Is he really going to be able to get things turned around after transferring from Oklahoma? And they knew the whole time, and they didn't tell anybody. And he went out there and showed the world. And now we know the passing game is going to open up even more because people are going to have to honor this. They're going to have to stack the box. Auburn running, if you run for 308 yards on anybody, you're going to beat them. I mean, the other team, you're going to running the football to that extent, you're going to have a chance to win every football game. So teams are going to have to shut that down. They're going to have to add some extra guys in the box. What's that going to do, Faith? It's going to open up some opportunities for those playmakers Auburn has in that wide receiver room. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased overall for the. We haven't even talked about the defense yet. We're going to get to that, but offensively, I was pleased.
Yeah, again, did not have much confidence going into all of this, and seeing also with the running backs, we talked about how maybe also there wasn't as much confidence when it comes to Damari Alston. Him going down with the ball last year was a really scary thing with holding on to the ball. And that was something that a lot of us were worried about too. And I told Brett on the sideline when in the middle of one of the quarters, I was like, dude, you watch both of Damari and Jeremiah Cobb. When both of them go down, they both grab the ball with two hands. They're not trying to extend out to get an extra yard or something like that, because they're both being so conscious of making sure they hold on to the ball. And that's not what happened last year at all. And being able to, have two running backs that, hey, I said in the offseason that, Damari's running laterally from side to side, trying to outrun some of these guys. And that worked on Friday night. It worked for him to use his speed to go around the defense. And again, there's going to be a lot of defenses that might be a lot faster than Baylor and might be able to stop that, but it worked against Baylor, and that's all that matters this last weekend.
Yeah, I was impressed with both Jeremiah and Damari and their effort. I thought, overall, they went out and proved that they're going to be able to handle what they need to handle. Moving forward, I was impressed with our offensive line. They had Baylor on roller skates most of the night. They went out into the transfer portal to get some guys to help on that defensive side, and it didn't really help. I'm just going to be honest.
Mhm.
It just wasn't that. This is the same problem Baylor had last year. They couldn't stop anybody, and they couldn't stop Auburn. If we'd have kept playing, they wouldn't have stopped us all night. Now, again, they kept cutting it to one score, but we would make a play, and the Rayshon Pleasant kickoff return really just jerked the momentum right back from Baylor to Auburn, and
You could see how tired Baylor was getting too.
right. Again, when you break down the defense, the linebackers, they have some work to do. The secondary definitely has some work to do. I looked down at our participation chart. We played 22 guys on defense, which you want to be able to play a lot of guys, but a lot of that usually comes from subbing linebackers and defensive linemen. We subbed a bunch of dadgum secondary guys, and I think Coach Durkin said we played too many guys on Friday, and we found out some of these guys aren't quite ready to go. And, if I'm looking at this, I don't see – I know we played more than 22 because there's a couple of guys I know got in the game that aren't on here because they didn't register a tackle or did not have something that would register them in the stat column. So Malik Autry, I know, played in the game. I remember him coming in pretty early. He's not on here because he didn't have a tackle or any assist or anything. So there's another one. So we played more than 22. We played 23 plus. So that's a lot of people. Now, again, try to figure out who's going to go out and watch film this week, and they're going to look at it and go, okay, this is probably why you're not getting as many reps as this guy. And so you got something to kind of go on to look at that. And not that the coach has to prove anything to a player, but if you go out there and you go, okay, here's why you're not quite ready, and here's what you need to work on to get a little bit better, to get more playing time, that they can use that as fuel, for the fire to whoever it is that they're talking to. But defensively, I thought our defensive line played pretty well because Baylor is pretty good up front on the offensive line. Faith, they blocked it well for Sawyer Robertson. We had a hard time getting to him and getting pressure on him. They had a lot of quick dump off pass design plays. They didn't want him sitting back there a whole heck of a long time because you do have a Morris Williams, you do have Keldrick Falk, you got some guys like that, but we didn't have an answer for Michael Trigg or Cole Wilson. That's the problem. Cole Wilson had 8 catches for 134 yards, and Michael Trigg had 7 catches for 99 yards. So they had over 200 of the passing yards between the two of them.
Yeah, they were doing the same exact thing every single time with Trigg and having it and getting dumped off, and Auburn wasn't able to take care of it and handle it. And that's going to be a huge problem against other teams like Texas A&M and Georgia. And if they can't get that under control, we are going to have another long season. And that's just going to be the truth.
Even not covering the physical, I mean, the thing that you and I talked about to everybody, and I'll say it, and I think everybody that covers Auburn said, is how physical our defense is all the way, all 3 levels: defensive line, linebacker, secondary. And our secondary come up and thump. We talked about Jay Crawford coming up and hitting Damari Austin in one of the scrimmages. I didn't see a lot of physicalness out there in the second and third levels of our defense. We could not tackle, and they were getting way too many yards after contact, and so that was concerning. I'm gonna be honest. Again, highlight the good things, talk about the things you got to get better, and of course, it's always a lot easier to watch film and look at the things you got to get better on after a win rather than a loss. But we got to get better at being physical. We were not, and I know we'll dive into Alabama here in a little bit because we're going to go around the SEC real quick. But Alabama, not physical at all. Terrible. Like, not even close to being characteristic of an Alabama football team. And I'll be honest with you, outside of our defensive line, we got a lot of things to work on as far as being physical with our defense too. So we gave up 24 points. I mean, you scored 38, which was great, which was good to see, and you didn't turn the football over. But you gave up 24, and you giving up 24 in the SEC to some of these teams, they're going to beat you. I'm just telling you. So, and they're going to be able to score more probably. They're going to be able to do some other things because a lot of these teams Auburn's going to be able to play, are going to be able to run the football. And that's going to change things up.
Yeah, I don't know if they were if our secondaries were scared of getting calls, because they did have a few calls earlier in the game, and you and I both looked at each other and we're like, well, this is what we were kind of worried about the last couple of weeks at practice, was because they weren't calling a lot of things obviously in practice, and there were definitely a few things that should have been called. Were they worried about, getting calls? What was the problem with the no physicality? Was it there's just a lot of questions there.
There is a lot of questions. I mean, you make the old adage is you make your most improvement from week 1 to week 2 in football.
But the thing is us going into our next opponent of Ball State, that's not a good enough.
But what I do like about that, Faith, is you got 2 games to get ready and clean up some stuff before we go back on the road for 2 consecutive weeks. So,
right.
I mean, that to me is the most important thing. I think the schedule sets up really well now that you get past this test against Baylor. You get the win, you're 1-0, and then now all the stuff that's been going on in college football this weekend, and you see some of these other teams, you're like, okay, now we got a couple of games to kind of clean up some things before we have to go on the road again and play 2 really good football teams in Oklahoma and Texas A&M. So going to be interesting to see. So before we get into around the SEC, let's talk about some of our partners.
Sensagreen, for air that's cool and clean. Call on Sensagreen. Actually, we have a whole new thing that it's after Labor Day, so I don't know if I should be saying it because this is Labor Day. So maybe I'll wait until tomorrow. But Sensagreen, for air that's cool and clean, call on Sensagreen. They are the carrier experts in the state of Alabama, a proud supporter of Auburn athletics and a proud supporter of the Auburn Blitz podcast. I mean, the email said after Labor Day, and so I didn't know. We have a new thing to say.
I know that,
but I guess it's after Labor Day.
But buy a carrier unit from Sensagreen.
Please for me, because I need to get paid, and that was really bad.
Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm located in Birmingham, Alabama, saving people all types of headaches. Let me tell you, you hire a company like Scout Program Management to manage your project, multi-million-dollar projects, municipalities, and educational institutions. They're the best in the business. They take you from the pre-construction planning phase all the way to the finished product. And I have watched them hold people accountable. I've watched it with my own 2 eyes. So that's why you hire Scout Program Management. Check them out in Birmingham, Alabama.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. I can only imagine how packed Bunkers was on Friday night. And if I wasn't at the Baylor game, that's where I would have been on Friday night, at Bunkers. Definitely not using the golf simulator bays, because I would have had too much anxiety already from watching the game. But maybe on a normal weekday, Wednesday, Thursday, and this upcoming Friday, I'll be on those. But they've got some really good food. I would have definitely been eating my steak sliders while watching the game, along with some good happy hour deals that you can get some good drinks.
Absolutely. So check out Bunkers, 50 parking spots downtown Auburn in the parking deck. Can't ever go wrong with Bunkers. I mean, what else can you say about it? All right, let's talk about the SEC. Auburn getting off to a great 1-0 start against the Baylor Bears. Not such a grand performance by Arch Manning in Texas. Managed 1 touchdown. It was really a very poor effort, I thought, 17 of 30, 170 yards. A lot of that came in the last couple of drives for Arch Manning. They actually had, I think he had below 100 yards passing until that next to last drive where they were able to score the lone touchdown that they had. He threw a pick too. It was a pretty bad throw. Texas just didn't look very good, period. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, defensively, held Ohio State to 14, but offensively, I mean, everybody's been sitting back and can't wait for Arch Manning. And, you know, unfair to him, a lot of media have put way too much pressure on that guy. And I had a feeling, and I told you this, and you can vouch for me on this. I said this a few months ago. I'm like, this kid has got too much pressure on him going into this game on the road against Ohio State. They're the defending national champs. And, you know, placing the label on him as he's the best player since Tim Tebow and all that, and he ain't made a start yet, is jumping the gun just a tad. Now, one game doesn't make a season. And do I think Arch Manning is going to get better? Yeah, I think he's gonna be fine. But this was not the start he was looking for against Ohio State.
I mean, thank God that wasn't Jackson Arnold in this case, because I'm just thinking about all the pressure we've put on him. And I know it's a different kind of pressure, but good Lord, all I can say is thank you, Jackson Arnold, for what you did for Auburn.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's the last name he has to live up to.
Right.
And just the pressure that he was under. I mean,
and Twitter's brutal, by the way. I mean,
gosh,
it's brutal. I mean,
you know, Ohio State's a good team. And so losing that way against a good team like that, there were definitely some things that he's got to clean up. But
yeah, for sure.
But again, you know, it doesn't make the season, and it would be different if they were playing a cupcake game where he played like that and it was awful.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's no bigger difference from your first game to your second game.
But I will say this, you know, Steve Spurrier months ago did say, he goes, you know, everybody's ready to crown Arch Manning the Heisman winner, and he hasn't made a start, and he couldn't beat out Quinn Ewers. He said, why is he all of a sudden just going to be this unbelievable? So, again, you add more pressure with people making comments like that. And again, like you said, he could have played, you know, Joe Blow State and thrown 400 yards and 5 touchdowns and been fine. Everybody goes, oh, well, they didn't play anybody. You know, not many people open up with the number 3 team in the country on the road. I know they were number 1, but I think that was a little bit ambitious too. I think that came from all the preseason hype and everything. I do not think Texas is the number 1 team in the country. So they got some work to do too. So we'll see how they rebound after that one. Tennessee over Syracuse, 45-26. Guess what? All Joey Aguilar did was come over from UCLA and throw 3 touchdown passes and throw for 247 yards and throw a middle finger back up to Nico, who went over and crapped the bed for UCLA and got blown out in front of about 8,000 people. So, I mean, the decision for Nico Imialiava to leave Tennessee and go to UCLA is looking even worse now after week 1. I mean, what an idiot. I'm sorry. Like, whoever was consulting him and helping him with his decision, like, this storybook just gets worse every time.
His daddy must hate him if he's the one that decided this.
It's another shit show. Excuse my language. It's just another. I mean, it's just like, okay, I got rid of that crap, and let me flip the page and find another big pile of crap. And that's what it is. Like, that could not have gone worse for Nico Imialiava and UCLA. I mean, what else can you say? You got blown out by Utah. But Tennessee, hey, Joey Aguilar's going, hey, all's good over here. We're good. And a lot of people are saying, hey, look, he even fits that Tennessee offense better maybe than Nico did. And I saw a UCLA fan in Twitter talking about brutal. Guy said, the next time Nico Imialiava overthrows a pass, I'm going to jump off the nearest bridge I can find. I mean, it like literally all he did was overthrow all night. So, again, saw some highlights of that. Or I guess you would call them lowlights for him. All right, what about this one? You followed this one a little bit on the way home. Mississippi State knocked off Southern Miss 34-17. There were a little bit higher expectations for Southern Miss.
Oh my gosh. As somebody that's now, I don't want to say a part of the state of Mississippi, but has some limbs over there.
Limbs.
What word am I looking for?
I don't know.
Has some.
Let's just go with that.
Roots. Roots?
You don't have roots in Mississippi.
I'm saying whatever. No. Now that I'm following the state of Mississippi, and I've got a close look on Southern Miss as well. I was thinking they were going to be pretty good. They just got a new coach.
Can we just say that we had a guy come up to us?
And he was like, if you have any sense of sanity, you need to go to the nearest casino. So let me drive down 85 south and go over to freaking Victoryland, okay? And go put some money on Southern Miss. They're going to win the conference. They might be 9-3 this year.
Yeah, they're going to beat Mississippi State because the over-under was like 4.5, right?
Yeah.
Wins for Southern Miss. He's like, that is over all day. That is
it's like 9-3 is what they're going to go. Like, you guys need to go and just like put some money on it. And Brett is like, Faith, I actually might go do that. Let's go. And I was like,
you know how close I was to really doing that?
Well, so I hit up Gigi and I'm like, yo, I heard you guys are supposed to be really good this year. He's like, Faith, if you get back on Saturday after the Auburn game, you're coming here and you're going to watch this game because we're going to blow State out of the water. And I'm like, Gigi, this is fire. Like, I'm really proud. Like, I'm really happy for you guys. I mean, good Lord. Southern is just always going to be bad.
They're just not good. I mean,
and, like, if you're losing to Mississippi State, like.
And I know Mississippi State's going. And first of all, why is Mississippi State traveling to Southern Miss? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's just all backwards. But anyway, Mississippi State gets the win 34-17. Woo, man, we were on the shuttle back to the airport with a Kentucky fan. And he's like, well, I can enjoy one day of football. I almost didn't enjoy this one. 24-16 over Toledo. They're terrible. There ain't any other. There's no other way to spin it. No other way to talk about it. Zach Calzada needs to shut up and quit talking about Auburn. He was 10 of 23 for 85 yards. Dude, you're garbage. You are straight trash. Okay. And Mark Stoops is not going to survive this.
He's out of there. Like,
you can go to the casino and bet on. If there is hey, who's going to get fired after this year or quit? It's going to be Mark Stoops. You know why? Because he has Zach Noodle Arm Calzada. That's why. He's going to
end up having his shoulder hurt again.
85 yards against freaking Toledo. Can't wait to play you, Zach. Come on down. Talking trash. You didn't even play it down at Auburn. And
we didn't even say that Walker White, how he was talking so much.
Hey,
we didn't even address that.
Why don't you just tell it like it is? You and I didn't even remember he was out there. Like, we are in the stadium. We watched the entire game, leave the stadium, and I go, oh, guess what? Walker White was on that team, and nobody ever knew it.
Because he's not going in for a single snap of the game. He's talking all this smack before, talking about how, I can't wait to give Auburn their first L of the season. What are you going to do? You're not giving anybody anything, except you're going to give the bench a little bit of warmth while you're sitting there. Like, what?
These clowns. I mean, just clowns. Zach Calzada gets the clown award.
All right, we're going on to more clowns. I'm going to go ahead and say this next. Let's talk about Alabama playing Florida State. While we're talking about clowns, if you're going to walk your little, I don't know what your Alabama elephant walk is. I don't know about that, but like, I don't know what they call it over there.
I don't know. Don't care. Don't really care.
If you're going to walk with your emotional support T-Rex in your hand down there that
They
has
call it the Walk of Champions. Don't they call it the Walk of Champions? Isn't that what they call it?
I thought that's what Ole Miss calls it.
No, it's Walk of Champions, I think, for Alabama too.
I don't care what it is. But if you're walking with your emotional support dinosaur down that, and then you go and
Can somebody just tell me what this is? I mean, is this what we've come to in college football?
why didn't he write "kill everyone" on the little nose strip?
I've even had Alabama fans go, I'm embarrassed.
Nick Saban wouldn't put up with.
I've had Alabama fans tell me all weekend how embarrassed they were. Like, number one, that they played like crap and they weren't physical, and a team that won 2 games last year just destroyed them. There's no other way to spin it. And Kalen DeBoer looks lost. There's no chance he survives very long at Alabama. This year, maybe. He'll make it through the end of the year.
If we beat them.
Well, I'm telling you the recipe. And again, one game doesn't make a season for everybody. But there's something he struggles with since he's been at Alabama. And that's stopping teams that run the ball with an RPO-style offense. And Jackson Arnold did this to them last year in Oklahoma, the night we played Texas A&M. He ran all over them. Everybody's like, well, he didn't throw the ball very well. He didn't have to. It's just like what he did against Baylor. He was gashing them so badly that it's like, I'm just going to run for 15 yards every carry. And so Alabama got destroyed at Oklahoma. So now we know that wasn't really a fluke because Castellano destroyed them too. That guy talked crap, and he backed it up. He actually backed it up.
Gus Malzahn, I mean.
Gus Malzahn, yeah, that's the other part of this story. Gus Malzahn just – he just figures it out, man. He just all the dang motion and everything. And why does it? And I told you this. Gus Malzahn would still be coaching at Auburn if he would have just stuck with keeping a running style quarterback. When he had Cam Newton, when he had Nick Marshall, he was great. And all of a sudden he woke up one morning and went, I think we need to get a drop back passer. And I've got to change my offense. Why, Gus? Why did you have to do that? You didn't have to. And then he gets to dadgum Florida State as the offensive coordinator, and he gets Tommy Castellanos, and hell, it's Nick Marshall 2.0. I mean, it's like, God, why can't things just be simple?
Because we had to get Brian Harsin after that, and we had to screw up all of Auburn. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I did just want to go and say, that we were talking about clowns, and that was just clown enough for me talking about Alabama.
They did definitely get a clown award. That was horrible. They were 14-point favorites and got beat 31-17. All right, Arkansas all over Alabama A&M. We did that too last year. There ain't nothing you can gauge out of that. Auburn blew out Alabama A&M and looked terrible the next 2 weeks. So nothing you
can – wow, good.
Did we score 70? Did we score 70 on them? I think we scored 70.
Yeah, something bizarre.
And everybody's like, oh, my God, boy, this team.
Auburn is going to be so good. Oh,
then we turned the ball over 9 times in the next 2 games. So
Peyton Thorne, he's so back. Yeah, shut up. No.
Oklahoma over Illinois State, that's not very much. I mean, 35-3. They played basically a nobody. And Florida scheduled a high school team.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were going to have a team whose locker room was not as nice as my high school locker room.
No.
Like, it was just like, I mean, seriously, who are we playing over here?
Long Island. When I think of that, I think of Long Island iced tea. I don't, right?
I think of people with the annoying accents. I don't know.
55-0 on that. Texas A&M struggled with Texas San Antonio. Like,
I'm just scared to go back to Texas now to go play them because I'm scared of the state.
I got something to tell you later. It's going to be a surprise. I can't tell you right now.
We're flying back into the Dallas airport?
Yes. And I'll tell you later. All right.
That's a lie.
I swear I'm not lying. I'll have to tell you later. We're never going to escape. It's like a magnetic field.
I'm literally going to start crying right now.
Never going to get out of there. We may never escape. All right, Vanderbilt over Charleston Southern 45-3. Hey, I was impressed with LSU. 17-10 over Clemson, and it could have been worse. It could have been worse. They had 2 touchdowns. They went for it down there, didn't get it one time, and then that touchdown that was taken away from them. What a gorgeous pass!
Yeah,
by Nussmeier, and the kid caught the pass, hit the pile. Can the play not be dead? Like what? Why do you have to go all the way out of bounds and fall down for it to be a completed catch once you've had 1 foot in bounds and you've hit the pylon? They need to change that stupid rule. Like, that is the dumbest rule, that when you catch, get a foot in bounds, show control, and then you got to carry the catch all the way to the ground out of bounds? What kind of rule is that?
Yeah, that's dumb. I'm not. I think that's stupid. I'm glad we don't have to play LSU.
I am too.
Because if we can wait for that whole little 9
and maybe we should play them in this championship game.
Okay, well, I'm saying if we have to wait for the 9 conference SEC whatever, when you add a third permanent person, if we can wait to get LSU until Nussmeier is out.
I don't think we're going to get LSU though, even when we expand. So
really,
no, I don't think they'll be the third team. All right, final Ole Miss over Georgia State 63-.
Wow! Oh my gosh, I'm so glad another high school football team,
another Mickey Mouse team. So,
well, you didn't even say that Georgia also played a high school team.
I skipped Georgia. How about that?
Well,
45-7 over Marshall. They didn't cover, by the way.
Yeah,
38.5.
Boo-hoo.
Just go through that for a second, real quick. Let's see what Gunnar Stockton. I mean, rushing the football. I mean,
I only watched so much of that game because the Alabama-Florida State game was on, and we were really into that on the plane. But from what I did see,
guess what Georgia's got coming up next week? Austin Peay. Then they go to Tennessee. That one should be a fun one. They got Tennessee and Alabama before they play Kentucky, and then before they play us. So they'll get another warm-up this weekend coming up. So we'll kind of see how that all plays out. So that's around the SEC. All right, some more partners here on the program before we get off this morning. Old Number One Customs, I'll just take it from here. Faith, they are in the house right now, getting close to being finished with the renovation of our master bathroom. 334-752-6162. If you're looking for a master bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, outdoor living space, they'll get it done for you. Make sure you call on them. They are awesome.
JFA Blue Plumbing, go ahead and get that Home Atlas water filter duo installed so that you can have filtered water throughout every single faucet in your house. It's so important when it comes to your skin, the actual water that you're drinking, your pets, your family, everything. You want to make sure you've got filtered water so you're not doing any damage internally and externally. It's only $15.99. And I mean, if you're going to compare the medical bills when you find out how bad the water is that you're consuming, that's literally nothing. So 844 JFA Blue. And we've got a home game this upcoming week. So that means you should have Oliver Ross be your tailgate bartending service. And if you're not having a tailgate and you have a sorority or fraternity day party, why don't you go ahead and have Oliver Ross be the bartenders for that? They're going to come there, set all their stuff up, and then they are going to pack it down and take it back. So you don't even have to worry about fooling around with getting everything all set up and not. Oliver Ross is going to go ahead and take care of it for you.
No doubt about it. Calling Oliver Ross. All right, Faith, again, had a fun weekend in Texas at Baylor.
I just had some really sad news.
Well, I mean, it's not terrible. So it's I don't know. But I actually looked at that today and I went, you got to be kidding me. Like, I thought somebody had sent a practical joke. And I'm like, are you serious right now? And no, it wasn't a joke. It was for real. So, but anyway, I just don't know.
I'm gonna freak out.
I know it.
I
Okay.
hope we're not staying at the same hotel we stayed at.
No, it's a short stay this time. I mean, I don't know if that's possible in Texas, but yes, this one won't be near as long. So I'll explain later. But anyway, again, everybody, hope all of you have enjoyed your Labor Day weekend. Have a nice rest of your Labor Day. Subscribe to our channel if you have not done so. We would greatly appreciate that. Coach Free's press conference today. So we'll be giving you some information off of that after we hear from Coach Freeze today around lunch. And then we will be at practice tomorrow. I think we have probably, I don't know how long we'll get to stay, but we'll have a brief media viewing window there. So Faith and I will do a report from practice. We'll hear some more information. I know some guys kind of got banged up in that Baylor game. So we'll try to give a report on that, namely Amaris Williams, but he came back in the game before it was all over. So it was good to see that he was up and able to run around and do whatever he needed to do there. So, but yeah, go subscribe. If you haven't done that, hit the like button. We would greatly appreciate it. Faith, send everybody out.
I hope everybody has the best day ever.
Absolutely.